Spreading all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome to a very special, interesting rebuild that I have for you today. I don't know how this is going to work because I've never done something like this before, but I'm very excited to give it a shot. So, what I'm going to be doing today is I have a box here, a very special box. I've had this box for a long time, and I have an extra camera here. It's my phone that's going to be showing you a different angle of some of the stuff. Here is a better look at the box that I have. It is a Topps NFL. If I can get, I don't have a lot of space on my desk. If you couldn't tell, it's a Topps 2006 uh, NFL trading card box. There it is, and you can see that yes, I am that old. So I think I got this at a garage sale back in the day when I was a kid, or maybe we got it at a store. I don't remember honestly, but it's got a ton of cards in here, and I don't remember any of the cards. I haven't looked at this in probably 5 years, maybe. So it's been a long time probably since the last time I moved. So we're going to be opening this today. We're going to be pulling cards out of it, and the cards that we get are going to go to a team that we're going to end up having to rebuild in this Madden 25 with a 2007 roster, close enough to 2006, I guess. And we're going to have to rebuild it. So I hope you guys go to enjoy. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get into this box. Okay, I have Madden loaded up so I can get the team prepared once we build the team, once we pull the cards. So I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to show you the cards on my alternate. Here's my hand. I also am going to show you there on that. So here is a look at the box. The inside of the box is just a bunch of random cards. Here's a close-up look of it. Just a bunch of random cards in there. And we're just going to pull out a stack of cards, and I'll randomly flip through blindly, and we will pick whatever players come out of that as the players part of our team. So I have a stack of cards here. I haven't looked at the players yet, as you can tell. So we're gonna shuffle them around, not looking at anything. We're gonna shuffle them around a little bit. I have no idea if there's any good cards in here. Absolutely no idea. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna flip it over and see what we have. Boom! Who is it? Oh, is it Frank Gore? It's Frank Gore. All right. Frank Gore. That's a shiny looking card. These Topps 2006 cards are pretty nice looking. So here is the Frank Gore card. So Frank Gore is a part of our team. We'll put him aside. Next up, we have Derek Burgess, who I don't know if he is in the game, the roster. I guess we can take a look. I have the game loaded up for a second. So let's go. He's on the Raiders, it looks like. Let's go to the Raiders and find out if he's going to be on our team or not. He looks like he plays defensive end. Okay, okay. I remember Derek Burgess a little bit, and he is in the game. Now, his portrait is not good. It's different, and that's going to be a problem with a lot of these rosters, is the portraits are just not that accurate, obviously. But Derek Burgess will be a part of the game, a part of the roster. We also have next up Edgerrin James. So, and it's his Hawaii Pro Bowl picture. That's kind of cool. But we have Edgerrin James in there. So back to back or a couple running backs is kind of interesting. That could be a little tricky. And now we finally get a what is this? Another running back. Okay, so we might be a little bit full on running backs. It is what's his name? Ladell Betts. I'm not sure who that is. I don't remember him in the NFL. I remember a lot of random players. I don't remember him. Let me take a look at the Washington roster and see if he is here on the team. All right, Commanders running back. He is on the squad. Ladell Betts is here. So we will have him on the team. He'll be our third running back on the roster. So we need to pull a little bit more variety. We've got a running back and we've got a defensive end. We now pull Matt Hasselbeck, an all-pro type of card. That's pretty interesting. There's Matt Hasselbeck. All right, I guess that's hey, I said we need some variety. That's a quarterback at least. Next up, we get another running back in Larry Johnson. Okay, we're gonna have to start not going with running backs there because we have four running backs now. I think that's probably gonna be enough for now. And I pulled another Edgerrin James. There's a second Edgerrin James card in here. My finger's covering his face, but we're not gonna use him. We're also not gonna use Sean Alexander, even though Sean Alexander would be a really good one to have. We have three running backs. We're going to start to be a little bit more picky. But this is a big pickup. Marvin Harrison Sr. on the team. Now he's a little bit older at this point, but having Marv Sr. is a pretty good one. Who's this? Some of the names are hard to read because the silver kind of gradient they have on it. It's a safety, Michael Boulware. Michael Boulware from the Seahawks. A little bit blurry there. It looks like he's black and white for a second. He's a Seahawk. Oops, dropped the card. Here it is in a better version of it. Obviously, you can tell which camera is better. So there we go with that. We'll have Michael Boulware. Is he on the Seahawks in this? He should be. I would assume this roster is pretty accurate with who's on the teams. But let's just take a look for sure. There he is. I see him down here. He's a 69 overall, which is not ideal, but hey, that's the point of a rebuild. Who's up next? Let's see. We got a linebacker. We got Ben. Another Sean Alexander card. Let's take a couple of cards. Let me shuffle them again, if I can. These are kind of hard to shuffle. There we go. Put them like that. Put them like that. I'm not good at card shuffling, if you can tell. All right, so let's take like two more cards from this pile, and then we'll pick another pile out of the deck. So the first card that we have is what's the name? DJ Hackett, a wide receiver, also on the Seahawks. We're getting a few Seahawks players. That's the third Seahawk we've pulled in this little rebuild. So another Seahawk player, a wide receiver, which is helpful. And he is on the team as a 67 overall. That's wonderful. All right, let's go one more player. Let me just randomly shuffle around a little bit so we don't get another wide receiver. All right, here we go. First player on is a running back. Work done. All right, so we'll put the running back away. Next up, we get Thomas Howard is a linebacker from the Raiders, and he is now on the team as a rebuild option. All right, so we're going to put this deck to the side, and we're going to go back into the pile of cards, as you can see in there. And I'm going to try to find another stack of juicy little cards here. Maybe we can get some pretty decent players. So let's pull out this deck right here. This, not deck, really. Stack of cards, I guess. And then we will shuffle them, trying not to see anything important. All right, there we go. And the first card on there, hey, is a kicker. It is Neil Rackers. I remember him. I remember you. He is a kicker. We always got to have a kicker on the team. So Neil Rackers is available. Then we get a tight end, and it's one of my favorites of this era. It is Algie Crumpler. There we go. Algie Crumpler, all-pro tight end, is on the squad as a tight end. We get another Sean Alexander card, which we won't use because we have too many running backs at this point. We've pulled like 3 Sean Alexander cards. Jason Witten, another tight end on the roster. That's helpful. Jason Witten, obviously one of the greatest tight ends of this era. So that is a stud. We're not getting many offensive linemen. I don't know how many offensive linemen are even in this box. There might not be any. We might just have to use the offensive lineman of the team that I choose when I put this team together. Next up is David Gerard of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we get a second quarterback option instead of Matt Hasselbeck. That's decent. At least we get a second quarterback. Another Marvin Harrison Sr. card, and I just pulled an amazing one. It is Donovan McNabb. That's our quarterback of the video because he's a pretty high overall, I'm pretty sure, in this roster. So Donovan McNabb, what a stud. Beautiful. So forget about Hasselbeck and David Gerard. We pulled another kicker, but we don't need another kicker, so we're going to move him. It's going to be Shane Graham, by the way, is the other kicker that we pulled. So we won't use him. We pulled another running back in Deuce McAllister. But like I said, we're putting away running backs because we don't need them. We pulled another running back in Marion Barber and another running back. Or actually, that's a wide receiver. So I guess we can use another wide receiver because how many do we have? We have like 3, I think. 2, something like that. So we pulled LaRon McCoy. LaRon McCoy is is an extra wide receiver also on the Cardinals. I think we already have a Cardinal wide receiver, do we not? I don't remember. So that is another person on the team. We also pulled LaDainian Tomlinson, which would be huge to have on this. LaDainian Tomlinson's stud. He simulates super well in this on these rosters. But LaDainian Tomlinson we're not going to use. We finally get an offensive lineman. It's one of the better ones in this roster. It is also a Seattle Seahawk, funny enough. Walter Jones, big time tackle on the team. That's going to be helpful. At this point, I might just use the Seahawks as my roster, my base roster. Darren Sproles, another running back that we're not going. There's a lot of running backs in this tops 2006 box. Darren Sproles not going to use. We pulled a linebacker, Dan Morgan, a good linebacker to have. Pretty good linebacker. I'm excited about that. Boom, Dan Morgan. And this is also kind of an excuse to show you my collection of 2006 cards as well. We pulled a tight end, Randy McMichael. We don't need any more tight ends, so we're going to put him away. Heath Miller. We got Heath Miller as well. We don't need Heath Miller. We pulled a D tackle finally. We don't have any D linemen except for one Raider D lineman. We don't have any D tackles, I guess. It is Broderick Bunkley. It's hard to read these names with this font or this silver kind of shading they have on it. But Broderick Bunkley, a D tackle for the Eagles, is on our team. That's helpful. We pulled another wide receiver in Greg Lewis from the Eagles. We pulled Braylon Edwards. That's a huge one. We don't need another wide receiver though, do we? How many wide receivers do we have? Because if we need another wide receiver, we'll have to use Greg Lewis or Greg Lewis. How many wide receivers do I have on this already? We have Marv. I know we have a Seattle Seahawk wide receiver. These are all running backs and quarterbacks. Let's see. We have a couple tight ends. We have two wide receivers, three wide receivers. So we have the Cardinal wide receiver. I think we only have three wide receivers, so we could use a fourth one. And unfortunately, I did pull Greg Lewis before I pulled Braylon Edwards, so we will have to use Greg Lewis instead of Braylon Edwards. That's how the rules work. We pulled him first. So Greg Lewis is now on our team as the fourth wide receiver. Now we don't need any more wide receivers. And unfortunately, I pulled Santana Moss and Chad Johnson. Oh, and another Santana Moss. Three straight amazing cards, two Santana Mosses and a Chad Johnson. All would have been helpful on this squad, but we don't need any more wide receivers. So those guys are all done. Cadillac Williams has been pulled, another wide receiver, another tight end, and another wide receiver. We don't need any of these guys because we have all the rosters, or we have all the positions filled on the roster. So there you go. That's a decent view of it. All right, those are all the cards that we pulled. All right, I think we'll do maybe one more stack of cards, and then we'll just fill in the rest of the roster with the base players who are on the team that we pick, which is probably going to be the Seattle Seahawks, since I have so many Seattle players. Let's choose this stack of cards. Got a new stack right here. Let's shuffle them as best as I can. Kind of hard to shuffle without looking at them, and they're kind of stiff too. So they're not very flexible in each other. You know, this is stiff. I'm just kidding. All right, so there we go. First card on the pile is another wide receiver. It is Corey Rogers of the Packers, so we don't need him. Then we've got another wide receiver. My God, there's a ton of wide receivers. Willie Reed of the Steelers is on here. Some of these are kind of bent, which is kind of annoying. Oh, but a corner. Ashton Yabuti, one of my favorite corners, simply based on the name, and he's also a Buckeye. But Ashton Yabuti is on the team as a corner. That's helpful. We didn't have any corners, I don't think. We had a safety, but we didn't have any corners. We got a quarterback in David Carr, but we don't need any more quarterbacks. We got another wide receiver, another tight end, a linebacker in Nick Barnett. Nick Barnett on the squad. Welcome aboard, Nick. So we'll put him on there. Ooh, Dominique Foxworth, talking head on ESPN. Another DB to add to the squad. Now we're pulling the defensive guys. This is the board that we needed here. Another defensive end. It's Matthias Kiwanuka from the Giants. I'm very familiar with him. I think he was on that Giants team that won the Super Bowl against the Patriots, the first one. So another defensive end. Jerry Porter, Raiders wide receiver, don't need. Jake Delhomme, we don't need. We have a quarterback. Wide receiver, Corey Dillon, running back. Wide receiver, running back. Ooh, here we go. Offensive tackle, old man Jonathan Ogden. That's a pull. That is quite the pull right there. Jonathan Ogden, welcome aboard. So we have our right tackle and our left tackle with Walter Jones and Jonathan Ogden. We don't have anybody in the middle. Running back, quarter. Oh, is that a quarterback? Yeah, it's quarterback. Uh, Linebacker. That's a big one. A big pull. Derek Johnson, Chiefs linebacker. Huge pull. That's probably going to be enough linebackers for us. I think we have what, three, maybe four linebackers. Vincent Jackson, we pulled another Algie Crumpler. Hines Ward, we pulled. That would have been nice to have. And then a big time pull right here with Warren Sapp. He is a little bit older at this point, but that's a huge pull for the defensive line. We add him alongside the other D tackle that we pulled earlier. And then our final two cards are, some good ones. We get London Fletcher, which is another linebacker card. How many linebackers do we have? I'll throw him on the board. If we don't use him, I'll let you know, but he'll be on the team, most likely. And then our final card of this pull was Antonio Gates. So, boom. That's pretty solid. And I think that's going to be enough. We have pretty much every position, right? We have at least one player at every position because we have our quarterbacks. Let's go through the team real quick. We have our quarterbacks in McNabb, Gerard, and Hasselbeck. So we have all three of these guys. Can't really see Gerard there. There we go. All right. So we have all three of those guys. We have our running backs, if I can find them. Where'd I put them? Oh, right here. We have Frank Gore, we have Edgerrin James, we have Larry Johnson, and then what is his name? Liddell Bettis? I don't, or Liddell Betts? I'm not sure if I've ever heard of him. But those are our four running backs that we have on the team. So that's good. Wide receivers, we have enough. We have four wide receivers. We got Marv Sr., we got DJ Hackett from the Seahawks, we have LaRon McCoy from the Cardinals, and then we have Greg Lewis from the Eagles. We really kind of missed out on wide receivers. We're definitely going to have to focus on that on the rebuild part. But that is good. Our tight ends, if I can find where I put them, I think I put them. Where did I put them? That's another defensive end. There they are. They're back at the bottom here. All right. So our tight ends, that's our offensive line. That's a linebacker. So there's Morgan. Safety. There's the tight. Okay. So do we only have two tight ends, I think? Did I only grab two tight ends out of this? We only need two tight ends. You don't need a third one, really. Let me see if I have another tight end in here. Did I pull another one? Ooh, okay. So we have a couple linebackers, so we might not need um one of them. I'll probably have to put one of them away, but I think we only had two tight ends, which is fine because we only need two. But we have Jason Witten and we have Algie Crumpler, which I mean, to be fair, are two of the better tight ends you could ask for in this era. So boom, there we go. Offensive line, we only grabbed two offensive linemen. It was Ogden and uh Walter Jones. And you know what? To be honest, those are probably two of the best you could have at tackle. I mean, if you're going to get offensive linemen, I'd rather have tackles. So Jonathan Ogden and Walter Jones are a part of the roster. Then we've got defensive ends, which I think we pulled a couple of them. We've got Matthias. There's a couple DBs. There's a kicker. There is the two D tackles and then a safety. So bada bing, bada boom. Here are our defensive linemen. We got Warren Sapp and we've got Broderick Bunkley as our two D tackles. Then we have two defensive ends in Derek Burgess and Matthias Kiwanuka. Kiwanuka. So there we got two D tackles, two defensive ends. We've got some linebackers, which I'm going to put away London Fletcher because we don't need him. We didn't pull him. We pulled him last. But we have Thomas Howard. Thomas Howard. We've got Dan Henderson. That's a UFC fighter. Dan Morgan and Nick Barnett. And then our final linebacker, which is going to be Derek Johnson. So we'll put London Fletcher away and those four linebackers will be part of the team. Then we have a couple DBs. We only pulled two corners. They're fine. They're not high overalls. It's Dominic Fosworth and Ashton Booty. We pulled those two guys, and then we pulled a safety in Michael Bulware. So we got at least a safety, one safety. It's not a we'll have to work with a free safety, and then we pulled a kicker in Neil Rackers. We're not going to need a kicker because in a rebuild you don't really need a kicker, but we do have a kicker. So there you go. That is our or that is the building the team portion. We have a full stack of NFL players in here on this roster. I'm going to go and build this roster as I do a money spread for all the cards that we have. But we are going to build the roster. I'll probably just use the Seahawks since we have a majority. Well, we have a lot of Seahawks players. It'll just be easier. And then I'll load up the franchise and we can start the actual rebuild portion of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little team building portion, pulling the different cards. As you can see, I still have a pretty hefty stack of cards left in this box. So if you guys want to see another version of this rebuild using the next stack of cards that we have, plus all of the stack right here, this fat stack that I didn't use in this video, let me know down below in the comments, and I can certainly revisit this in another video, and we can attempt another try at this, depending on what happens, I guess. So that's going to do it for this portion. I'm going to go build the team, and we are going to start this rebuild. Okay, I have put the team together, and I did choose the Seattle Seahawks at the end of the day because the highest overall quarterback in this roster happens to be Matt Hasselbeck, not Donovan McNabb, who ends up being an 88 overall. So good on me for pulling Matt Hasselbeck because we have a 92 overall quarterback instead of an 88, which is pretty awesome. We still have Gerard. We have Frank Gore, Edgerrin James. Now, I know you're going to have to do a little bit of work here. Suspend your realism for a second for the player portraits. It doesn't look like some of the players. I can't do anything about that. Edgerrin James is here. Larry Johnson, and then Betts is down there as well. So we have all the running backs. Our wide receiver room is very thin. We have an aging Marvin Harrison. We have Lewis. We have McCoy, and we have Hackett. Those are the 4 receivers that we pulled. So, yeah, we could have had Chad Johnson and Santana Moss, but we didn't pull them early enough. So our wide receiver room is a little bit thin. At offensive line, we have Will Jones. We have Walter Jones, and we have Jonathan Ogden. Now, the reason these guys don't have player portraits is because I went in to change their positions, and when you do that in the base roster, it takes away their player portrait for some reason. So Ogden and Jones don't have pictures anymore. But still, it's still them. And we have very good tackles. So we don't have to worry about that for a few years. I know Ogden is a little bit older at this point, but hopefully we win a Super Bowl before that. And then Jason Witten and Algie Crumpler are here. I realized that I didn't change Algie Crumpler's picture, so he doesn't look like a white man, because Algie Crumpler is most definitely not white. So we will swap him with somebody with a little bit more melanin. There we go. All right, so Algie Crumpler looks better now. And then on the defense, we pulled a few guys on defense. We pulled some linebackers with Nick Barnett, Dan Morgan, Johnson, Kiwanuka, who I forgot to put on the defensive line because in the roster he was a linebacker, but I'll move him to defensive end since that's what he is on the card. So we'll switch him to defensive end. And then we also pulled some guys like Warren Sapp, who I also didn't change. Man, I didn't really do a good job, did I? I changed a few of the guys, but I obviously didn't change enough of them. But we pulled Warren Sapp, who's also a little bit older at this point. We will swap him and do that. There we go. Sure, why not? Whatever. There we go. Warren Sapp now is better. We've also got Kearney, who was just here on the roster. The cornerback room is a little bit thin. Safety, we only have Bulware, who's down here, but he's not even a starter on this roster. And that's the team that we have. Those are the cards that I pulled. As you can see, I still have them right here. Every card is placed on this roster, and now the part of the video that is the most important is the rebuild portion and winning a Super Bowl. We did get lucky with a good quarterback who, how old is he in this roster? He is 32, so he's a little bit older, but if we put some pieces around him right away, we might be able to get a championship pretty early. We have a great tight end. We got lucky with that. We got a couple great running backs, so we also got lucky with that. We're going to need to work on wide receiver very, very quickly. We're going to need to get some offensive linemen, some interior offensive linemen, and then we're pretty much going to have to work in this entire defense. We did get lucky because the Seahawks already had Julian Peterson on this roster, so that helps out a little bit. But we're going to need to help out with safety. We're going to need to help out with corner, maybe with some more defensive ends. Like, there's a lot of positions of need on this roster that we're going to need to do. But, I mean, the Madden has us rated as an 82 overall, so I'll take that. I did try and load in the 2008 draft class, but for some reason I was getting, like, an error when I was trying to load it in. I'm not sure why. And when I try to load in any roster, like, let's just try to load in 2026. Yeah, see, it was canceled or failed. I don't know why all of my rosters are, or all of my draft classes are being canceled for some reason. Even when I went to the download center and tried to type in like 2008, since that's the roster or the draft class that we're going, this is the one that I have downloaded. It says it's completed, but then when it loads it in, it goes with draft class import was canceled or failed. I'm not sure what's going on. So for this rebuild, unfortunately, we're going to have to go auto-generated unless I can figure out why it's not working. But it looks like we're going to have to go auto-generated for this rebuild. I don't know why it's messing up. It's kind of strange. But we're going to simulate this first season, see how we do. We're running base Seattle offense and defensive playbooks. We haven't changed those. So we'll see how this roster does. The roster that I put together by pulling cards. I hope that we play pretty well, but at the end of the day, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not sure how the Seahawks playbooks are going to sim. I don't know how we're going to play as a team. Let's find out. Let's simulate the first year and figure out how this team does. Season 1 is done, and we won 15 games. I'm not quite sure how we did that with the team that I put together. Maybe the Seattle playbook is just that good. I'm going to show you the schedule so you know that I didn't like force anything or anything like that. We just happened to win a bunch of games. I'm not quite sure how we did it. So we just won 15 games like that. It's absolutely unbelievable, but I'll take it because that helps rebuild this team very quickly. 4,100 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 6 receptions for Matt Hasselbeck. That very well could be MVP type of numbers. These are really, really good. Rushing wise, Frank Gore, 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. Edgerrin James even tossed in 11 for himself. So, unreal rushing numbers. 3 1,000 yard. This is just the base Seattle Seahawks playbook. And we have 3 1,000 yard receivers. Greg Lewis and DJ Hackett are 1,000 yard receivers? What is happening? Marvin Harrison in his advanced age gets 1,100 yards. Jason Witten had 10 touchdowns as well. What is going on in this roster sim? Nick Barnett leads the team with 106 tackles. Derek Johnson, 79. We had 10 tackles for loss for Warren Sapp. Then sack leader was Julian Peterson. Makes sense, 14 and a half. So some of the guys that we picked didn't really perform that well. Dominique Foxworth had 5 interceptions, though, and Ashton Yabuti had 3. And we make the number 1 seed with 15 wins. Absolutely nuts. Now, it would be the very typical Madden thing to do for us to lose this game against the Philadelphia Eagles, but we win, and win very confidently, 31-13. So we play in the NFC title game for the first time in this season, like the first time in the first year of the rebuild, which doesn't have to not happen often in rebuilds for a reason. That's why they're called rebuilds, but we are here. And obviously, we jump in for NFC championships and for Super Bowls, so we're going to try to jump in here and maybe win a Super Bowl in year number 1. That would be absolutely nuts. But we got to get through the Packers first in the NFC Championship. Here we are in the NFC title game against the Packers. We are the Seattle Seahawks. And we are going to try to go to the Super Bowl in year number 1 of the rebuild, which is absolutely nuts to even be talking about the potential of doing that. We tie it at 10, and I think I might jump in here. Third quarter, tough situation. I am wearing the throwback 2000s unis because it fits the theme of the video. We're going to hand this to Frank Gore, who had 1,500 yards on the ground this season in the rain as well. We get the first down. We're going to jump in again, try to get the touchdown here. 1st and 10 from, what does it look like we're at? Maybe the 11, the 12? I can't tell exactly where we're at. Oh, great blocking from the boys, and Frank Gore takes it to the 7-yard line. I probably could have had more if I didn't run into my offensive lineman there. But it is what it is. Handoff again to Frank Gore. Thank you very much. Run him over! Touchdown, Frank Gore. He's into the end zone. We lead 17-10 late third quarter, into the fourth quarter now. But the Packers will score to take the tie back. And now it's a 3rd and 1 situation. Late fourth quarter. All we got to do is kick a field goal, but I want to score a touchdown. And Frank Gore will get the first down. Good job, Frankie boy. We will end the game with they want us to get a score here to end the game. So that's exactly what we're going to try to do. I have not thrown the football yet, and maybe that's by design. We don't really have great wide receivers. We have Marvin Harris. I mean, to be fair, we had 3 1,000-yard receivers. Maybe I'm being a little too mean to the receivers that we have on the roster. We have 3 1,000-yard guys. So we're doing something right. Hand off to Frank Gore again. Frank Gore's got a ton of carries. I'm surprised we haven't subbed in Edgerrin James yet. But ever since we've been jumping into these moments, Frank Gore has been the guy that getting the football. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Now we are in prime position. Packers are going to start using their timeouts. Packers are going to start using the timeouts. We will try once again to get a first down. Waste as much time as possible. Frank Gore bouncing it, staying inside, bouncing it. Frank Gore gets up to the 12, and the Packers aren't using timeouts. Very interesting. They must have sealed their own fate by doing that. And now Edgerrin James jumps in. Finally, it's about time. He's going to get rocked by somebody. Is that Clay Matthews? Who is that? I don't know who it was, but... Oh, it's Lofa Tatupu, who we swapped when we traded players. I gave Lofa Tatupu to the Packers to get their linebacker, Nick Barnett. And they used their second timeout. It's 3rd and 2 from the 4. 3rd and 2 from the 4. A handoff to Frank Gore, and he's going to get the first down, but crucially not get into the end zone. They use their final timeout, and they're just begging me to run this football. I mean, look at this open room they have on the defensive line here. The handoff, Frank Gore, it almost would have been best if he didn't score there. But he does get in 24-17. Will the Packers have enough time to do the job? They will not. And the Seattle Seahawks, in year 1 of this rebuild, with this roster that I put together via football cards from 2006, in 1 year, has gone to the Super Bowl already. Now, will we win the Super Bowl? That's up for debate. I hope we do. I'm going to try to. But we'll have to figure out if we are going to win it or not. But this has been pretty successful here. One of my most successful rebuilds in recent memory. A big-time Super Bowl appearance for the boys. Let's get to the Super Bowl and figure out who we're playing. I think the Colts were on the other side of the bracket as one of the teams, so we might be playing them. And it will, in fact, be the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning going up against us. This is going to be pretty tricky. I believe that we can do it, but Colts are very good. We've rebuilt them in the past. We know how good they can be. But let's take them on. It's Super Bowl time. Seahawks versus Colts. I mean, this is year 1, man. Let's go see if we can get a Super Bowl. That'd be absolutely nuts. We are here in the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to be tough. Colts are a good team with a high-powered offense. We lead 7-0. They get a touchdown back at 7-7. We get back with another one, 14-7. But the third quarter, they score one. And it's 14-14. We're going to jump in here with a chance to take the lead back again. I mean, we went 15-2. We have to be a better team than the Indianapolis Colts, who went 11-6. Frank Gore gets the first down, which is pretty massive. They're going to give me a chance here on first down in the red zone, or close to the red zone. Try to punch this in for a big-time touchdown. Frank Gore, great blocks. Frank Gore down to the 4. Gore to the 4. And we are close. We're going to do a direct snap to Frank Gore and see if he can just squeeze his way through. There's the snap, the give, and Gore. Close. He's at the 1. I thought he might be able to get it in, but he just a little bit short. But they're just begging me to run this ball. I mean, my God. Look at the gap there on that left side between the guard and the tackle. We're going to run right through that and get into the end zone. Touchdown. We take the lead right back. The boys are in front again. In the fourth quarter, we have the ball again. Oh, my God, what's happening? So there was 2 different possessions the Colts had. They couldn't do anything on either possession. And now under 3 minutes to go in the game, we have a chance to waste all this time, potentially waste their timeouts, and win a Super Bowl in the first year of the rebuild. I can't believe that this is even where we are. Now, I'm going to go on the fact that we're going to win the Super Bowl. I can't guarantee that, obviously, but the next things that I'm going to say are going to be based on winning the Super Bowl. So we're probably going to go maybe another year or 2. I was probably planning on going my normal 4 or 5 years to rebuild the team like I normally do in a rebuild video, but since we're most likely going to win a Super Bowl in year number 1, we don't then the rebuild's already completed. We don't need to do anything, but I do want to at least put some different people on the roster, so we will do that. We will go through a couple off seasons. We'll do some drafts, some free agencies, just to kind of get that kind of part of the rebuild video, and then we will go through the rest. And I don't think I need to be in this anymore. I think I can just sim out of this, and we should be able to win this game, right? Because now we're just trying to waste the clock. 3rd and 12, and there it is. A Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks in year number 1 of the video. Oh my God, absolutely nuts. I can't believe we actually did it. I can't believe we actually won a Super Bowl. That is wild beyond belief. I can't even understand how crazy that is. This roster, this roster that we put together with these cards is a Super Bowl team in year number 1. Absolutely nuts. We will take a look at the season recap and then we'll go into the offseason and we'll get ready to finish out the couple years, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of wild. Let's take a look at the season recap for this crazy first season that we had where we win a Super Bowl with the team that we built through 2006 trading cards. I mean, I still can't actually believe that we did it. Frank Gore wins the MVP of the Super Bowl, which is very well deserved and well earned. We get Calvin Johnson and Patrick Willis winning the Rookies of the Year. Ray Lewis and LaDainian Tomlinson are the Players of the Year. And then Carson Palmer gets the MVP. Good for him, but not good enough because they didn't win the Super Bowl. We did. And now we move to an offseason where we have so much money. I don't even know if I'm going to have enough ideas to come up with ways to spend all of this money. I'm sure I can, but as of right now, I have no idea where I'm going to spend this money. Do we even need to spend the money? We just won a Super Bowl. I mean, what else is there to spend money on? I know this team still has holes, but it's really strange that we won a Super Bowl. We need to spend a little bit more money on offense with wide receivers and maybe some offensive line or maybe some offensive linemen. We probably need to spend some money on linebacker and we probably need to spend some money on corner and defensive line. I mean, you would think that there's a lot of holes in this team, but 15 wins in a Super Bowl is actually insane. We're going to accept the option on Frank Gore. We're going to obviously pay Matt Hasselbeck because he just won us a Super Bowl and we have so much money I don't know what to do with, and he really wants to be back, so he's going to be back. We're going to pay Donovan McNabb because in case we lose out on Hasselbeck, we want to have a backup quarterback. So we're going to pay McNabb. He's going to return. Now we're starting to lose out a little bit of money. We're going to pay Edgerrin James. All of these guys we happen to have are super old and their contracts are up, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. But I was asking where we were going to spend this money, and I've gotten my answer because we have we have all these old players that are up for new contracts that we're going to try to bring back. And so far, it's going well. We're bringing everybody back. We want to get Jonathan Ogden back. Luckily, we're coming off of a big-time championship, so everybody wants to be here. That's super helpful. Rich Gardner at corner, we probably don't need necessarily. DJ Hackett is one of the guys that we brought in via the cards, so we will bring him back simply on that purpose alone. And we had like almost 200 million. Now we're down to 32 million. All right, let's get back everybody that we brought in on the trading cards. So Michael Boulware counts, so he'll get brought back. He's coming back. LaRon McCoy was one, so we'll accept his 5th-year option. Kevin Bentley was not one. Warren Sapp was, so we'll offer him a new contract. But look at this. We're already steadily drained of our money. So I guess I didn't have to wonder too heavily where that money was going to go. And we will offer Neil Rackers a 7-year contract. And we're down to $10 million, basically. After $200 million headed into that negotiation period. I guess it's a good thing that we had the money when we did because we needed to bring all those guys back. But now, about $10 million to go into free agency. Is there going to be anybody even worth going after? Darnell Dockett is interesting, but we're not going to have enough money. $10 million is not going to be enough to get him. I know he wants to be here. Unfortunately, $10 million is not going to be enough. I'd love it for it to be, but it's just not going to be. He's about the only one that I would absolutely be super in on. Is there any wide receivers that we can add to this team? I mean, there's a couple names, but there's nobody that really stands out to me. I'd rather just keep the 10 million, I think. We'll just go into the draft. Now, remember, this is, unfortunately, not a real player draft. It is just an auto-generated one. Maybe now I can do it. Maybe it's changed. Maybe it's fixed since I went into a couple games and something. I don't know. Let me try it one last time before we actually go into the draft. I know I scouted some people, but it doesn't really matter. Can I load the 2008 draft class? Will it actually work for me? It did. I don't know what was going on at the beginning. Maybe I had like a glitched file or something where if I went into a game, then it actually worked. So, hey, there we go. We actually get the 2008 draft class. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so shifting our focus now to the 2008 draft class, we need to probably bring in a wide receiver, and there's a couple good ones. You got Deshaun Jackson, you got Devin Thomas, Donnie Avery, Jordy Nelson, Eddie Royal, Harry Douglas. There's a couple names up here. Pierre Garçon a little bit later. There's a couple names in here we could bring in at wide receiver. As far as defensive line goes, it's a little bit thin on the defensive line. Cliff Avrill's a nice player. Vernon Golston could work out for us, but probably not. Calais Campbell's obviously a stud. We probably need to come away with a D tackle in this class because we did just re-sign Warren Sapp, but he's old. He's like 36. So we probably need to come away with one of those. We need to come away with a corner. I would really like to come away with a corner. And there's a couple really good corners in this class. You got Mike Jenkins, you got Brandon Flowers down the board a little bit. You've got Charles Godfrey, super down the board, Dwight Lowry down the board. So we've got some options later in the draft for corner. I'm definitely thinking we need to bring in at least one, maybe even two corners in this draft. I don't know what the draft situation. Hold on, I need to take a look at the draft situation. What is happening here? What is going on with the mock draft's messed up now because we loaded in the class. That's right. Okay, so the mock draft doesn't even matter anymore. Well, that's helpful. Obviously, we have pick number 32 because we just won the Super Bowl. I will spend all of my staff points on this. And if you are curious about why I'm doing this, I have a video on the channel explaining everything you need to know about how to trade for whatever first round draft pick you want to trade for using staff points only. It is a Madden mechanic. They have it in the game for a reason, but I feel like it goes underutilized. And I wanted to bring attention to it. So go look on the channel for that video, and you can learn exactly the reason why I did all of that. So if I'm going to do all of that, are we actually going to make a move in the draft? I don't really think we need to. I think I might just stay at 32. I don't really think there's a need to go and trade up. Matt Ryan goes number 1 to the Panthers. That's pretty fun. Chris Long goes number 2 to the Jaguars. Who's going to go 3? Darren McFadden goes 3. I think I might just sim all the way to my pick. I don't think there's anybody that I'm going to miss too heavily. Is there anybody that I missed out on? I mean, there's a couple guys that are nice. Like Aqib Talib would have been nice. Jake Long would have been nice. Gerard Mayo at linebacker. Calais Campbell goes 29. Deshaun Jackson goes 28. Okay, so there's a couple guys that maybe I could have traded up for and gotten, but nobody that's too important that I missed out on. We probably, where do we want to go number 1 over, or number 32? Our biggest need would probably be defensive tackle because Warren Sapp is pretty old and a lower overall. So defensive tackle is probably the biggest need. But I don't think that there's a defensive tackle here that I like enough to take at 32. We might come back if Cliff Averill is available. We might come back and get him at round 2. I might take Brandon Flowers. I like Brandon Flowers a lot. He's a good player. I might grab him here at pick number 32. We need another corner, so I'm going to grab him. He's number 30 in true value. He's got a hidden dev. I can always use that as a good draft pick. So we'll come back in round 2. Did Cliff Averill get grabbed? I don't see him just on a quick glance. I don't see him on there, so he might still be available, which would be super helpful. Because we could certainly use another defensive lineman, and he is still available. Cliff Averill, welcome aboard. You're going to be taken in the 2nd round. Number 47 in true value, another hidden dev type of player. You'll love to see it. And we go to the 3rd round, and this could be where we grab a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. I guess we'll see what's available. At wide receiver, Pierre Garçon is available. I'm just going to take him. I'm not going to waste any breath explaining why we should go to somebody else. We're just going to take Pierre Garçon because we've seen him in using this 2008 draft class before. We've seen him develop fairly well, so we're going to grab him. We don't have any other picks until the 6th round at pick 32. Okay, so I kind of got screwed there. I didn't realize we didn't have any picks. That's my bad. Okay, so what's even available anymore? We could still use another corner. Kerry Williams says he's projected round 1 to 2. Kyle Arrington's available. We still need a safety, but there's not really a safety that I want to grab. What's the linebacking core look like? Wesley Woodard wouldn't be bad. We do need a middle linebacker because Dan Morgan's a lower overall. I might grab Wesley Woodard here. Number 124 in true value. He's got a hidden dev as well. We've hit on all of our dev trade players, or all of our draft picks have had dev trades. And now we get the awesome task of drafting Mr. Irrelevant. I rarely ever get this task because I usually just simulate past the draft, but we might as well stick around here and take Mr. Irrelevant. Who is it going to be? Peyton Hillis? It could be Peyton Hillis. Any wide receivers that pique the interest? Ooh, Danny Amendola, Devon Bess. I'm a fan of both those guys. Do we want Danny Amendola to be our Mr. Irrelevant? We'll come back to him. He could very well be. King Dunlap didn't get drafted. That's kind of crazy. I do like King Dunlap. He's a cool player. Jeff Schwartz also still available. D tackle. We're just gonna have to miss on D tackle this year. Just wasn't that great of a D tackle class, to be fair. Just wasn't great. The cornerback room is still pretty decent. We might take a corner, although all of these corners are probably just gonna be in free agency anyway. Do I want to take a Kyle Harrington? I might take Kyle Harrington here. Let's take him. He's going to be Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know how good of a player he's going to be. He's probably not going to play much, if I had to guess. But just getting cornerback depth is always good. So let's take a look at this draft recap and see where we hit. So we got 71 on Brandon Flowers, 69 on Averill, 67 on Garcon, 64 on Wesley Woodard, and a 67 on Arrington. I'll take that. That's big dubs. Now, can I go into free agency real quick? Okay, so free agency is not available. Just I wanted to see if I could get Danny Amendola on the team. Maybe I have to go to the actual preseason. Okay, here we go. We're in preseason. Can I sign Dola? Wide receiver, age, is he available or did he get picked up? That's the bad part about simulating like that. The CPU teams have the pick of the litter before you do, so they can take any free agents that they want. And I don't think Danny's going to be here. All right, that's okay. Danny got picked up by somebody. It's kind of sucky, but it is what it is. So this is our lineup for year number 2. We are the defending Super Bowl champions, and I dare I say we got better? I mean, we added in Pierre Garcon. We're still a very similar team to what we were. The offense is almost completely the same. We did add some depth with Wesley Woodyard. Cliff Averill is going to be a depth piece on the defensive line. We added some more corners to the team, so that's always good. Unfortunately, Bullware I don't think is going to be able to start. But I like the team. I mean, we won 15 games last year. Now, Madden's probably going to screw me and give me like a 6-win season or something here in year number 2. But like I said during the Super Bowl, we're probably going to go one more season after this and maybe just do a 3-year rebuild since we already won a championship and kind of just ride it out and see what happens. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2 with the results. Year 2 is finished, and yes, it wasn't as good as the 15 wins that we got in year number 1, but we still were the number 1 seed in the NFC with 13 wins. I legitimately don't know how this team is doing the things that they're doing. Like, this team doesn't feel like a perennial Super Bowl team, and yet we won one last year, and now we're, in theory, the best team to win one this year. So, maybe Matt Hasselbeck is just a god. I don't know. But 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I mean, these are great numbers. They're not as good as last year, but they're still very, very good numbers. Frank Gore had a great season again, as expected. Greg Lewis this time led the team with 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then Marv had 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns as well. Very, very awesome for them. Defensively, Nick Barnett led the team with 88 tackles, 85 for Derek Johnson. Tackle for loss leader was Julian Peterson with 9, tied with Patrick Kearney. And Warren Sapp had 8. And then Kearney led the team with 9.5 sacks. Peterson had 8, and Burgess had 6. Dominique Foxworth, one of our cards, had 3 interceptions. Good for him. He led the team. And we moved to another divisional round of the playoffs with a bye. Are we going to get stumped by the Dallas Cowboys? It's very typical in Madden to have that happen. But we win 30-24 victory over the D. That's huge. The big D goes down. And now we take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are 9-8, a little bit of a Cinderella story headed into the NFC Championship. But they have to come into what I guess would be talked about as a buzzsaw on national media in this alternate universe. You got alternate universe First Take talking about how Seattle is just a juggernaut of a team. So we will take down the Arizona Cardinals and win our second Super Bowl. I can guarantee you, hopefully, guarantee you that. Taking on the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC Championship, we do, since we are the 1 seed, have the benefit both times, both in the last year's playoff run and this playoff run, to be at home for these big games, which is very nice. And we lead 14-0. Maybe the Cinderella story is just not got enough magic left in the tank, but they do pull back to a 14-11 deficit, but we add another touchdown, 21-11. Now it's 21-14 into the fourth quarter. They need a touchdown to score, and they can't do it. Yes. The Seattle Seahawks will play in their second straight Super Bowl. Why is this team? Matt Hasselbeck had 3 touchdowns, 175 yards. What is this playbook? Are we gonna? Do we find a new like meta playbook? Are the Seattle Seahawks the new god tier playbook? Like, what is going on here? Or is it just a combination? It feels like maybe to a bigger extent. It feels like when we did that LA Charger rebuild with LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers and all that kind of stuff. Or actually, I think it was Drew Brees actually we did it with instead of Phillip Rivers. But whatever, with LaDainian Tomlinson, where we won all those games where I didn't think we would win simply because LaDainian Tomlinson was just carrying us to all those victories. I think it's kind of like that, but a bigger extent because we're actually like unstoppable in this playbook. I don't know why it is. It's got to be a combination of the playbooks and the players on the team doing some magic together. I don't know what it is. But speaking of the Chargers, we take them on. And Carson Palmer, by the way, back-to-back MVPs for him. So that's pretty cool for him. But we take on the Chargers, another Super Bowl, and look at that. We go to the Field of Genes, Levi Stadium, to play this Super Bowl. That's going to be pretty fun. And it also would be fun to win the Super Bowl on a division rival's field. That'd be awesome. Rub it in the face of the 49ers. But let's go win back-to-back Super Bowls because that is unprecedented here on the World of Juice channel. It rarely ever happens. It is Super Bowl Sunday. Seahawks and Chargers trying to win our second straight Super Bowl in only 2 years of doing this rebuild so far. I guess I just pulled together the greatest team of all time with those cards. Although it's not guaranteed just yet. Oh, maybe it is. 17-7 late fourth quarter action. Can we add another one? 24-7, but they come back with an immediate touchdown of their own. 24-14. End this football game, and we are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. How has this team done the things that they've done? This is going to end up being the most successful rebuild I've ever done on the channel. If we go 3 for 3 next year, it's guaranteed to be the most successful one. And it doesn't feel like it should be. Like, I feel strange winning these Super Bowls with a team that doesn't feel like a championship team. Like, you can go back on the channel, the discography, what's that word? The amount of all the videos I have on the channel, you can go back through all of those playlists and everything and watch all those videos and see the god tier teams that I've put together, the 99s on both sides of the ball, and they still haven't won championships. And yet this Seahawks team has won 2 in a row. It's weird. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. If we go 3 for 3, I'm going to be absolutely stunned. Maybe I'm using all my luck to win these first 2 Super Bowls. I have no idea. Or we just got super god tier players with that card pull that we had. Let's take a look at the season recap. Matt Hasselbeck gets the Super. So it was Frank Gore last year. Then it was Hasselbeck now. Carson Palmer, again, MVP. Jordy Nelson and Chris Long are your players of the year, or rookies of the year, I mean. And Larry Fitzgerald and Amobi Okoye are the players of the year. Good for them. Good for them, but it doesn't matter because we have the Super Bowl. We don't have near as much money as we did headed into year one's offseason, but around 30 million is not horrible, especially because we probably paid most of the guys last year that need a new contract. So there's probably not going to be that many people, or at least that many important people. There's only 9 players. But first, before we take a look at that, let's take a look at player development traits and see if there are any upgrades. So Hasselbeck and Frank Gore stay at superstar. Marvin Harrison Sr. has retired. So he goes in, wins 2 championships, and calls it a career. Also, I just noticed that Walter Jones retired. Okay. Interesting. Thankfully, we drafted Pierre Garçon last year, so he's already established into the team. But 2 big retirements already. Ashton Yabuti is a superstar dev player now. Warren Sapp is retired. That's 3 people that we pulled in those cards that have now retired. Starting to get a little bit scared. Now we have Bunkley starting at D-tackle. Okay, very interesting. So we have 3 retired players, and at least 3 notable retired players, and all 3 of them are guys that we had on our card pulls. Derek Johnson needs a new contract. Dominique Foxworth, Julian Peterson. Okay, so there are some actually like important people that we need to bring back here, especially Derek Johnson. Am I going to have enough to bring him back? I'm barely going to have enough. If I extend him to like a 5-year deal, it's going to be enough. But that means Julian Peterson probably has to leave the team. But we probably could get something pretty good for him if we trade him. And technically, he can lead the team because he was already on the team. He wasn't a pull. So, what kind of value is he going to have? Rashean Mathis, James Jones, Bart Scott. We could use an extra middle linebacker, although we have Wesley Woodard, but he's a little low overall. Eric Winston, Cologne, Ramon Harper. We do need a strong safety, don't we? But I feel like Julian Peterson, I know he's 31, but I feel like he could get something a little bit better. Can he get a first round pick? Is that possible? The Bears need an outside linebacker. Can I get picks? No, I want to go a little bit higher than pick 17. Can I get pick 11? The Broncos are the number one need is right outside linebacker. Can I get pick 11? Oh, I think I can, especially if we're only going to go one more year. I can unload all of the draft picks from like down here, and we can certainly get pick number 11. If I just, you know what? If I just skip through and just give number one overall pick from a couple years ago, there we go. So Peterson and a first round pick a couple years ago, that's not going to matter. A couple years from now, that's not going to matter because we won't pay them or we won't be playing that year. We do get another first round pick. So now we have two. I am going to go to team salaries and restructure a couple of contracts to be able to afford the contract of Dominique Foxworth. So we'll restructure a couple of you guys. And that should be enough to afford Dominic Foxworth because he is one of the guys that we brought back, or that we pulled in the cards. I want to bring him on the team. So Dominique, we're going to give you a new contract, and he's been playing pretty well. So we're going to offer him a new contract, and he is going to stay with the team. $13 million. David Gerard is also one of the guys that we pulled, but I don't think we are going to bring him back. Unfortunately, we probably do need to bring Chris Spencer back now that I think about it. Because we're not going to really have a plan at center if we don't. So if we offer him that, he's going to play for a new team next year. I guess we could franchise tag him. Yeah, $10 million is not that bad. All right, we're only going to go one more year anyway, so it's not like that really matters. Is there anybody else on this roster that I could trade for a big-time wide receiver? I guess I could trade Donovan McNabb, since we're not technically going to need two quarterbacks that are this highly rated. So I guess we could technically trade him. He has no chances for no options for trade offers. So who's got like a top 3 pick? I'm assuming they're going to need a quarterback if they do have a top 3 pick. Jets, Packers, Jets and Packers have top 2 picks. So Donovan McNabb for number 2 overall is very close right out the gates. What about number 1? How desperate are the Packers to get a quarterback? I think we can just do this if we trade our next year first round pick because we're not going to need it. So, okay, they're being a little stingy, a little stinge balls. We could have gotten the second overall pick, but I might as well go for number 1 if I can get it. And it's so close. Wait, what'd that say? Unfortunately, we can't consider the offer. It will put us over the salary cap. No, I think that means Donovan's cap hit or cap penalty would be too much. I don't think we're going to be able to trade even for the second overall pick if we trade Donovan McNabb. No, that's super sucky. That's super, super sucky. If I trade this, it probably won't let it work, right? Yeah, okay. So Donovan McNabb, that's why he didn't have any trade offers, because any trade that we accept his cap penalty would take us into the negative, and they won't let us do that. So that's unfortunate. We did manage to get 2 first-round picks, but unfortunately, we can't do anything or other than that. That would have been pretty sick if we were able to. Maybe I should have done that last year. All right, let's take a peek in free agency. I almost skipped it. Let's take a peek into free agency and see what we're working with here. DJ Ware, Jeff Saturday. I mean, Jeff Saturday would have been cool if we didn't already sign our center. Although, to be fair, we did just get him on a whatchamacallit. Isn't Ray Willis on our team? Was he on the contract? I didn't see it. I might have missed that. I will try to offer Vincent Jackson, but he looks like he's going to be a little bit too hard to get. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford him. And he's not going to accept anything that I lower on the money. There's not really a big-time wide receiver. I mean, maybe Josh Cribbs, but Josh Cribbs isn't a number 1. So we're gonna go to the draft and see what happens. We're gonna go to the NFL draft and see what is cooking. It's the 2009 draft, so we should be able to find some decent players. I guess I'll take a look at the mock and see what they got me taken. Matt Stafford gonna go number 1 to the Packers. Okay. Arakpo is going 5. Crabtree is going 7. We have number 11. They want us to take Darius Haber-Bay, which, you know what? I wouldn't be too opposed of that. I do kind of like Darius Haber-Bay. But we could take Vontae Davis. We could use an extra corner. Or Michael Orr, because our right tackle did just leave. And then they want us to take No. Moreno. Well, that's not going to happen. We're not going to take another running back. We don't need one. We have Frank Gore. Let me grab a look at this roster real quick. So we do probably need, okay, we need offensive line. We need wide receiver. We need right side of the offensive line, and we need wide receiver. We need maybe a safety. Okay. So corner is probably not a big need. We need wide receiver, offensive line, and safety. Those are our 2 biggest needs. So we're going to skip to pick 11. Clay Matthews does go. It looks like it followed pretty much exactly how it thought it would. Andre Smith probably seems like the smart pick. What other wide receivers are down the board a little bit? There's a Percy Harvin. Does he make it to 32? He might. And he might be my pick if he does. But I think I can't pass up on Andre Smith. We're just going to move him to right tackle, and he's going to be fine for us. So, Andre Smith, welcome aboard. You are going to be a Seattle Seahawk. And we will go to round pick 32. Percy got taken at 29. That's unfortunate. Noshawn Moreno got taken at 28, so he was mocked to get taken by us, and he gets grabbed a few picks early. Now, there are some pretty good centers available, and there's some pretty good safeties available. We could take Alex Mack. That would be a good pickup. Mike Wallace is available. Kenny Britt, Brandon Tate. So there are a couple of names here. Nobody that's going to like splash off the page. But there are a couple of names. Julian Edelman as well. I think what I want to do is just focus on the offensive line. Maybe we take Alex Mack and then move somebody into guard. I think that's probably the smart thing to do. Let's take Alex Mack. Got to take best player available when he's there. So number 12 overall. To get him at 32, that's a huge pickup. Now we go to pick 32. Who's going to be available now? We still need safety. There's not really a strong safety available, which is what we need. We could take Luis Delmas, I guess. Not really too keen on doing that. The linebacking options are not really there. D-tackle, you got Sammy Hill, who could be an option in the 3rd round. We'll take a look at him a little bit later. Defensive line, there's not really any options. All of the offensive linemen are gone. There's not really many people to take here. I guess we could take Kenny Britt. Maybe we come away with Kenny Britt in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, whatever round we're in. Number 89 in True Value. He's got normal dev, but he might be stand a better chance at taking a starting job. All right, so we move into the 3rd round here. Who was I looking at for the 3rd round? Oh, I think it was that D-tackle. Okay, he got grabbed. Never mind. Never mind. He got taken. So, Marcus Freeman. So, since we don't have an option, McAfee. I don't really know where we go from here. We're already in the 3rd round, and I just don't think there's anybody worth grabbing. I guess we could take Marcus Freeman just for the fun. But it's a 3rd round pick. Bradley Fletcher, Ladarius Webb are still here at corner. All right, those could be guys. But, I mean, we're in the 3rd round. Bradley Fletcher was around 1 and 2. He's still here. I kind of want to know why he's still here. Number 50 in True Value. He's got no dev trait, but that seems like a solid enough corner for us. I'm going to take Julian Edelman here in the 4th round, and then I'm going to sim out of the picks. We'll come away with 2 wide receivers. There's still a couple of decent wide receivers in here, but we'll grab Jules just to have him. I don't know if he's going to get any minutes on or get any reps on this rotation or anything, but we're going to grab him, and then we were going to sim out of the draft, and hopefully we have not hurt the team enough that we don't win a third straight Super Bowl, because I really want to win a third straight Super Bowl. I think that'd be super cool if we could do that. Let's take a little peek at what we got here. 71 for Smith, 74 for Mack, and then the rest is kind of just whatever. They took Zach Miller. Didn't he have like a devastating leg injury? I feel like that's true. Maybe a knee injury. All right, let's get to the preseason of year number 3, the final year of this rebuild. We will take a look at the roster, make sure that we got everything in order, and then simulate the year. So right now, they have DJ Hackett and Greg Lewis being the 2 guys that are starting for us at wide receiver, which is just absolutely insane. I think what we're going to do is we're going to kick Spencer out to guard, Chris Spencer. We're going to move him out to right guard and then have Alex Mack start at center. That seems like the smart thing to do. So kick Spencer out to guard and then have you start at center for the year. That seems pretty good. The rest of the team looks solid. Defense-wise, we're a little shaky, but we've been shaky all video, and we've won Super Bowls regardless. So we'll see how it goes again. Final year of the rebuild, year number 3. Can we go 3 for 3 winning Super Bowls? We will find out. I'll see you guys at the end of the year. Season 3 is finished, and this team has got some weird devil voodoo magic or something. A 15-win season. Again, we had a 15-win season year number 1, a 13-win season year number 2, and a 15-win season year number 3. And I swear to you, I have not done anything to these games. These are all just what has happened. As you can see, no force wins on any of these games. It is actually insane the level of sim god tier we are at. I've never achieved this type of consistency in the sim, and it's strange that it's happening with this roster. I'm so conflicted on what to feel because it's so strange. And Matt Hasselbeck's numbers keep dropping every year. He was over like 4,100 yards in year number 1. Then he goes down to like maybe he's had more than 4,100 because then I think he had like 4,100 last year. But now he's like 350, 3,500 and then 26 touchdown picks. Like, what are we doing here? These are not that good numbers. And yet we win 15 games because Frank Gore is God tier. Is he on the same level as LaDainian Tomlinson? I mean, he might be at this point. DJ Hackett is a stud, but only 2 touchdowns because Pierre Garçon was sharking all the touchdowns. Then we get to the defense side of the ball. Nick Barnett again leads the team in tackles. Derek Johnson has 9 tackles for loss. Kearney has 9 as well. Also led the team. That's one thing about Patrick Kearney that I always see is that he gets double-digit sacks every single time, no matter what team he's on, no matter what sim it is. He's always going to get double-digit sacks. He's a freak. Then you get interceptions with Ashton Yabuti. Look at that. Look at that. 5 interceptions for Ashton. And look at our top 3 interception guys are all guys that we picked via the top 2006 trading cards. I'd say that I did a pretty good job because we go to the divisional round to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Have I used all of my devil magic luck? No, we still win again. Oh my God, we're winning games like crazy. We play in our 3rd straight NFC championship. Now that one was a little bit closer. It was 14 to 7, something like that. So that one is a little bit tighter, but we do end up with the victory. And I think we played the Dallas Cowboys. No, we played them in the divisional round in year number 1. I think that's what it was. So we take them on this time in the NFC Championship. We're going to jump in and see what happens, but I mean, can we really go 3 for 3? Is that possible? Is that achievable? Let's find out. It is the NFC Championship against the Dallas Cowboys here in Seattle. We lead 7-0 early. That's nice to see. But Dallas is fighting back. They get a touchdown themselves. They get a field goal as well, making it 10-7. We get a touchdown right before half. Come on, boys. They're not doing anything. Now they have the ball again. They're in close to the end zone. They get a field goal, or a touchdown, making it 17-14. We get the football back, and with 2 minutes to go, we have a chance to win this game. Can we do it? I hope so. That would be super sick. Super sick nasty if we could win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Now, obviously, we have to get through the Cowboys and then get past whoever's in the Super Bowl. DJ Hackett tries to catch the ball off the deflection. I hate the fact that the corners can make those plays. I talk about it all the time whenever I have the opportunity to. And it's usually all the time because it happens all the time. That's going to be underneath. And look at that. It's Jules, one of the greatest playoff receivers of all time. Julian Edelman with the catch and the first down. As expected because he's Julian Edelman. He comes up in the big moments. Do we try to hit? I got to get that away. Oh my God, that was almost instant pressure from the defensive line of Dallas. Maybe we're not going to have the ability to go deep like that. We might have to go underneath. 1:21 to go. We're going to fire that into Jason Witten. He's going to hold on for the catch, but only 5 yards. Let's run some hurry up. The clock is draining pretty quickly. We have all of our timeouts, so we don't have to worry too much. Oh, Witten's wide open again. Back-to-back on Jason Witten. And you know what? Just run out of bounds. Don't use any of those timeouts. Stop the clock manually. Don't have to worry about any timeouts or anything like that. We're close to field goal range, but I don't really want a field goal. I want a tutty. And Matt Hasselbeck does not have the speed. I was actually going to scramble there. DeMarcus Ware gets the sack on me. I was actually going to scramble, and then I realized very quickly that Hasselbeck did not have the speed to pull away from anybody. This time I'm going to scramble again. I'm going to take another sack because I didn't really have anybody open there, if I'm being honest. Or at least I didn't see anybody open. There might have ended up being somebody open, but I didn't see it. And now we're in a deep 3rd and 16. I guess at this point we just have to try to get to the field goal range. Can I fit that in there? That might be more than field goal range. It's DJ Hackett. He's got more than field goal range. He's got a touchdown. Seattle with 39 seconds left takes the lead. Oh my God. And Dallas, they can't do anything with it. And we come back and win. Oh, this is the team of destiny. This is the greatest team of all time. You're telling me that we pulled that out of our hat with under a minute to go, 3rd and 16? And it was DJ Hackett. Oh my God. I guess he really can hack it. That was good, wasn't it? All right, let's go see if we can win our 3rd straight championship. I mean, this is unprecedented. We're in uncharted waters here on the World of Juice channel. We don't win 3 straight Super Bowls. There's usually something that happens with we lose a game that we shouldn't have lost, or we just get bad luck, bad sim luck, whatever it is. This is uncharted territory. Oh my God, it's 15 versus 15. The Pittsburgh Steelers are also a 15-win football team. This is the 2 best teams in the league, finally. It doesn't always happen like that in the Super Bowl. Sometimes a Cinderella story like last year, where you get a 9-win team. But this year, it's 15 win versus 15 wins. Who is going to be the better of the 2? Let's find out and maybe get our 3rd. These are strange times we live in as we enter a Super Bowl for the 3rd time in a row against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are unbelievably good this year at 15 wins. We're also at 15 wins, but I don't think we're as good as the Steelers. We're giving them a heck of a fight, though. It's 14-10. Now it's 14-17. We scored instantly there. And we get another touchdown, 24-14. This team is unbelievably good. Oh my God. What are we doing here? 27-14. We did it. A 3rd Super Bowl in a row for the Seattle Seahawks. This is the greatest rebuild I've ever had. I don't think there's ever been a rebuild video where I've won 3 straight championships. I'd have to go back and do some research, but I don't think I've ever done a rebuild where I've won 3 straight championships. And it's 3 years. 3 titles in 3 years. All 3 years of the rebuild. We only did 3 years of the rebuild. It wasn't even really a rebuild at this point. I thought this was going to take me at least 4 or 5 years like normal before we win a championship, especially with the amount of older players we pulled from the cards. But I severely underestimated the power of the sim and the power of the Seattle playbook combined with Frank Gore and I don't know, a bunch of chutzpah. I don't know what we did, but we got it. Frank Gore wins his 2nd out of 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Tony Romo gets the MVP of the league. We get Wes Welker and Chris Long to be players of the year, and then Matthew Stafford on the Packers and B.J. Raji Love a good BJ. He gets himself defensive rookie of the year. So good for those guys. But that is going to be the video. We did 3 years and we won 3 championships. That's about as successful as you can ever be. Frank Gore goes up to X Factor. We do lose Jonathan Ogden, so I guess it's a good thing that we're ending because a lot of our guys that we pulled from these packs or from these cards were old and they retired. We lost Marvin Harrison last year along with Walter Jones. Now we lose Jonathan Ogden. So the entire offensive line that we pulled retired. I would assume Matt Hasselbeck's going to retire pretty soon. Same thing with Donovan McNabb. We're probably going to lose these guys soon. So we're going to lose all of our guys. What about on the defense? Wesley Woodard will finally start. Dan Morgan finally drops to the bench. Yabuti's got a superstar dev still. I mean, this is such a weird team. Such a strange team. But it was a super fun rebuild. I guess you can't even really call it a rebuild because we won 3 titles in 3 years, so that's not really a rebuild. But it was a super fun video to make, a fun concept. I've never done a pack, not a pack opening because they weren't packs, they were just cards, loose cards I had in a box. But I've never done like you pull these cards and then those cards translate to the players in the game. I know that's a big thing in like Ultimate Team. You pull the cards, and then you make the team, Ultimate Team like that. But I've never done anything like this for a franchise video, for like a rebuild video. So I thought it'd be a cool concept. And I found those in my closet. So I saw like 2006 cards. I was like, do I have a roster that fits this? And I happened to have one. And I was like, you know what? Let's try to make a video about it. And this is the video that came of it. And I'm super happy about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was super fun. I also hope you enjoyed the alternate angle from my phone, showing you up close and personal pictures and video of the actual cards themselves. So yeah, if you want to see more like this, leave a comment down below, leave it a like as well, show me you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.